Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. On this occasion, we would like to present our final research presentation titled The Role of YouTube Videos in Enhancing Senior High School Students' Listening Comprehension. First of all, we would like to thank Mr. Yogo for giving us the opportunity to present our research. Before we begin, next slide please. Before we begin, allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Indah Syafitri with student number Z1E023038, and I'm here with my team, Anisa and Rizqina with student number Z1E023010, and Bilqis Aulia Rizqina with student number Z1E023031. To begin, the first part of the presentation will be delivered by Anisa. Anisa, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. So now we will discuss about the introduction. So the driving question is, what role can technology play in overcoming classroom challenges? And this study focuses on YouTube in enhancing senior high school students' listening comprehension because listening is one of the most challenging skill for EFL students, especially due to fast speech, varied accent, and limited vocabulary. Research shows that students face difficulties such as anxiety, pronunciation issues, speech rate, poor vocabulary or grammar mastery, and lack of concentration. Many teachers use TTS or text-to-speech based audio, but it lacks natural features like stress, rhythm, and intonation, which limits students' exposure to authentic English input. Previous studies indicate that YouTube can enhance listening skill and motivation through authentic and engaging content. However, exciting multimedia-based listening studies have not focused specially on YouTube in Indonesian senior high school context, and the finding remains inconsistent, highlighting the needs for a systematic review to determine its effectiveness in improving listening comprehension. And our research questions are, what role do YouTube video plays in overcoming students' challenges in listening comprehension? And how effective are YouTube videos compared to other digital tools in improving senior high school student listening comprehension? And then for the research method, for the design, we use systematic literature review or SLR to synthesize empirical studies on YouTube and listening comprehension. For the database that we use Google Scholar, Eric, Semantic Scholar, sorry. And the search strategy, we use keyword and plus Boolean operators such as YouTube and listening comprehension and AFL and senior high school. For the screening procedure, we use Prisma Flow from identification, screening, eligibility, and inclusion. And for data extraction, that's conduct our author, year, context, method, participants, and key findings. For data analysis, we use thematic analysis to compare and synthesize results across studies. The inclusion criteria of the study consists of articles published between 2015 and 2025, written in English, peer-reviewed, and focusing on the use of YouTube for listening comprehension among EFL senior high school students. Meanwhile, the exclusion criteria included studies published before 2015, non-English articles, non-peer-reviewed publication, studies conducted at other educational levels such as university or elementary school, and studies that did not focus on YouTube or listening comprehension. I think that's all from me. I will give it back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Anisa, for the clear explanation. Next, I will continue the presentation by discussing our key findings and reflections from the research process. First, let us move on to the key findings of our study based on the three articles included in the Systematic Literature Review. The first study, conducted by Sembring and Katemba, 2023, reported that the use of English educational YouTube videos significantly improved student listening comprehension and increased their motivation. The second study by Komari et al. 2021 compared YouTube videos with audio-only materials. The findings show that students who learned through YouTube achieved better listening comprehension result, indicating the advantages of video-based input. The third study, conducted by Satyawan et al. 2024, examined the use of YouTube Short. The short and engaging format helped students maintaining attention and resulted in noticeable improvements in listening ability. Despite differences in video types and research design, all studies consistently highlight similar benefits. From the analysis, we identified three main themes: multimodal input, authentic language exposure, and increased learner motivation. Overall, these findings indicate that YouTube is an effective supplementary tool for enhancing senior high school students' listening comprehension. Next slide, please. Also, the findings are positive. Several challenges and limitations were identified in this study. First, limited number of studies focusing on Indonesian senior high school. The second one is difficulty synthesizing findings from different research design. Third, selecting studies that strictly met the inclusion criteria, and the last is summarizing results without repeating original studies. Next slide, please. From this research process, we can retrieve several important lessons. We learned how to conduct a systematic literature review using the Prisma framework, which helped ensure transparency and rigor in article selection. We also improved our skill in evaluating and synthesizing academic resources rather than merely summarizing previous studies. Furthermore, this study enhanced our understanding of multimedia learning principles and their application in EFL listening instruction. Overall, these experiences strengthened our academic research and presentation skill and prepare us for future research and teaching practice. Okay, that concludes my part of presentation. Next, the following section will be presented by Bilqis. So, Bilqis, the time is yours.
All right, thank you, Aliya, for the time. So I will explain about alignment with learning objectives. So here we have three objectives. The first objective is evaluate the credibility and relevance of academic sources for research development. Evidence, we make inclusion and exclusion criteria of the journal articles as a clear criteria. And then for the practical benefit, I can critically evaluate journal articles before using them as references in academic writing. And the second objective is produce research reports systematically using academic structure. Evidence, we use IMROD structure in producing our research report. And for the practical benefits that we got, I can organize research ideas systematically, making my writing easier for readers and reviewers to follow. Next slide, please. The third objective is revise and present essays orally based on feedback. For the evidence, we add Prisma flow diagram as a revise for our research from the feedback that we accept, and we delivered a 7 until 10-minute presentation summarizing research question, research method, and key findings. And then for the practical benefit, I can present research in a formal English clearly to an academic audience. Next slide, please. All right, the next slide is about conclusion. In conclusion, this review demonstrates that YouTube is an effective tool for improving learners' listening comprehension by providing multimodal input, authentic language exposure, and increased learner engagement. Drawing on multimedia learning theory and recent empirical studies, the findings show that YouTube supports both cognitive and affective aspects of listening, helping learners overcome common comprehension challenges while maintaining motivation. However, the effectiveness of YouTube depends on thoughtful pedagogical implementation, including appropriate task design and instructional guidance. Although the reviewed studies report positive outcomes, limitations related to research design, duration, and contextual scope suggest the need for the further investigation. Next slide, please. All right, this is about suggestion for future research. Here we have 3 suggestions. The first one is expand research context and participant diversity. All reviewed studies were conducted in Indonesian senior high school context. This limits the generalizability of the findings to other educational levels or countries. And then the second suggestion is compare YouTube with other digital listening tools. The reviewed studies did not compare YouTube with other digital listening tools, such as podcasts, TikTok, or other digital listening tools. As a result, claims about YouTube's relative effectiveness remain limited. So it's necessary to compare YouTube with other digital listening tools in the next research. And then the third suggestion is conduct longitudinal studies. Future research should be conducted over a longer period of time to examine whether the improvement in students' listening comprehension through YouTube is sustained. Most of the reviewed studies were short-term, so they cannot show long-term learning effects. Next slide, please. All right, that's all from me. I give it back to the moderator.
Yeah, thank you, Bilqis, for the detailed explanation. That brings us to the end of our final research presentation. We would like to apologize for any mistake during our presentation, and thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.